Alright, hey guys, this is a unboxing and review of Milifortic's new Alpinist homage, the S089. Oh, by the way, I'm Brian, the Chinese watch guy. I live in China. I like affordable watches, especially Chinese watches. The watch today was lent to me by Milifortic. This video is not sponsored, so if you like unsponsored, unbiased reviews like these, remember to like and subscribe. And I'm quite excited about this one. I've always wanted to have an Alpinist, which is such an iconic watch, along with the Hamilton Khaki Field, the Sin 556, the Rolex Explorer. These are the field watches out there. They're just iconic. And there aren't many homages to the Alpinist line out there. I believe Militato has an homage of the Baby Alpinist, a little smaller watch that does not have that iconic compass bezel. Granted, that bezel's not that useful, but it is, again, it's iconic. It's part of this watch, I would say. All right, let's take a look. So I actually just reviewed the Sin 556 homage from Milifortic last time, actually. Sort of a peer, sort of a competitor to the Seiko Alpinist. All right, so same packaging as last time. The signed warranty card, the branded cleaning cloth, and the usual spring bar tool. But of course, we really want to get to the watch. So again, Milifortic is a sister brand of Baltony, which I've been impressed with in the past. Yeah, and I was fairly impressed with their 556 homage, their Sin 556 homage last time. I'm feeling, yeah, again, even before it's out of this bag, I'm feeling it's pretty substantial. Well, that looks good. So you can see that I went with the two-tone look. I mean, the most iconic colorway for the Alpinist would probably be the green dial. And that's very much a Alpinist mountaineering look. But I don't know, I've just been really into the two-tone look lately. All right, let's get this plastic off. Okay, so we've got the plastic off. Yeah, that is looking good. It does feel very substantial. I like that. It looks very classy, gold accents. The dual crowns are generally a bit unusual on most watches, so that's kind of a cool thing. You can see that very large date from the Cyclops, but quite clear. And the bracelet, yeah, we see it's a suitable bracelet. It's a very outdoorsy sort of rubber strap. Okay, good. Quick release spring bars. You can see that it's a screw down crown. These should be screw down crowns and that screw down case back. The part of the straps close to the lugs are kind of G-Shockish. All right, maybe we'll put this right on the wrist first. Oh, I forgot to do a wrist check. I was wearing my San Martin SN0144 CG on a gray leather strap. Okay, let's put on the S089 instead. So there we go with this on the wrist. It's quite a comfortable strap. See, there's a lot of ventilation. The Alpinist, I've tried the Alpinist on and it did feel a bit top heavy. It is known for being a bit top heavy. We'll do measurements and see if this is in fact lighter or thinner than the Alpinist. I think possibly it is. But yeah, feeling good, looking good. We'll put this under a macro lens. But first, let's do dimensions. The watch on the rubber strap weighs in at about 92 grams. This is a bit heavier than the SPB121, one of the more common iterations that are out there, which is listed at 87 grams, but pretty close. The classic SARB 017 was listed at 79 grams, but still anything under 100 grams on a strap it's just fine, I think. As for the case diameter, it kind of does depend where you measure because it does have, of course, those sloping crown guards. But let's see. It's 39.8. I've measured it at 40 millimeters at some points, even as low as 39.5 at other points. But this is quite similar to the Seiko Alpinist. Now the thickness, I'll try not to catch the Cyclops, as that would add a little thickness. About 11.6 millimeters in thickness. And so that is, I would say, an improvement over the SPB 121. Yeah, so again, it's noted as that watch is considered kind of a thick, top-heavy watch. But here we're shaving off about 2 millimeters. Even the cult classic SARB 017 iteration was still 12 millimeters. So pretty good, right, in thickness. Okay, let's take a closer look at this dial. Now, this is a pretty faithful recreation of the Seiko Alpinist. Lovely cathedral hands. We have those even numbers applied in gold. We have the Milifortic logo at 12 o'clock. Very fine indus markers around the perimeter of the dial, and that slope rehaut, that is the compass bezel. I like that there are some pops of red there. Then we have the Cyclops, of course, kind of a divisive element for some fans. I think it rather works here, especially with the black date wheel. And that's something that the SPB 121 does not have. It has this white date wheel, which I think it's a bit of an eyesore, in my opinion. It looks much nicer here. So I rather like this configuration of black dial with a gold bezel and crowns. It still has that mountain climber vibe, but it's classed up here. Looking at the case, we have that polished gold bezel. Yeah, okay, so I did just say that I like this element. However, it perhaps doesn't totally match the outdoor vibe. Perhaps it'd be interesting to see what a brushed bezel would look like instead. We see vertical brushing on those lugs. Very well done, very fine. There is a polished bevel along the side, and the flank looks to be polished as well. Now it does possibly look like it's picking up some micro scratches already. I haven't worn this watch. I only put it on the time grapher, so I don't know if that put some micro scratches on it. That's the pitfall of polished surfaces. Oh, I should mention, of course, we have that matte black sun ray finish to the dial. It's rather subtle, at least indoors. We'll see what it looks like outdoors. But overall, it looks like really clean, nice, classy finishing. Okay, let's talk about specifications. Inside, we do have a Seiko NH35 movement. Not a premium movement by any means, 40 hours of power reserve, but somehow fitting for this Seiko Alpinist homage. We do have flat sapphire crystal with quite good AR coating. We have that screw down case back giving us 100 meters of water resistance. And my mistake earlier, we do have a screw down crown for operating the hour hands, but not for the internal rotating compass. The compass rotates quite nicely. And the way that it should work is that you point the hour hand towards the sun, and the point between your hour hand and 12 o'clock should give you south, if you are in the northern hemisphere. So of course you would rotate the bezel to match that, and you would get your bearings in that way. So let's look at this watch out in some natural light. And as you can imagine, those polished surfaces look great under the light. The AR is doing its job quite well. And it's generally quite legible, highly legible, except perhaps under harsh, direct light. Okay, so let's look at the watch on some different straps. Here we see it on a chocolate rally strap. The gold tone doesn't match exactly, but just to give you an idea, I don't think too many of us have gold hardware on our clasp available. And here we have it on an olive NATO strap. I wouldn't say this watch, at least this colorway, is a strap monster necessarily. You kind of have to pick colors that would match it. Oh, and I just edited this in last minute. I threw it on a bun strap to see what it looks like. It's, for a real mountaineering look. Okay, so let's look at the Lume. So we have the S089 in the middle, and next to a Seiko on the left and a San Martin on the right. And as it does have C3 Supernova, it does last decently compared to those watches, especially on the hands, but with only small lume pips above the numerals, it's not very legible in low light. Okay, let's talk about drawbacks of the watch. Now, of course, it's not an original design. It is clearly an homage, almost a copy. However, I would say, especially in the gold and black colorway, it does offer something different. I'm not sure if this is actually an older reference. The polished surfaces, yes, they're going to be something of a scratch magnet. However, that's true of the Alpinist as well, with its polished flanks, although I think that they do have brushed bezels, which is a bit more practical for a field watch. And then there's a price at $184. I think that's fair. This is something far better than you're going to get for an entry-level Seiko in terms of build quality and finishing, but you are still getting that basic NH35 movement. This watch is sold at the equivalent of $144 on Taobao, so hopefully you guys on Ali can get a nice discount during the Double 11 sale. All right, final thoughts. This watch gets a yes from me. I actually like this more than the previous 556 homage that I just reviewed. It's classy, it's well built, it looks great. Now, as for alternatives, the more budget alternative would be Militaro's ML08, which is, a less faithful homage, but it does get a similar vibe. And of course, you could always save up for the real thing. You could probably get a used one for probably $500 something. So not too much more than this. However, I do think this is a good value because, frankly, they've made some improvements over the current SB121 with that reduced thickness, and I like the black date wheel. Well, I'll leave a link in the description to this watch, and I'll leave links to all watches mentioned. If you want more exclusive early looks at watches like these, remember to subscribe. My name's Brian, Chinese Watch Guy. I'll see you next time. Enjoy your watches.